And we are live. Welcome back to the channel. It is Chosen Wisdom Football, a channel for the football purists, for the critical thinkers, for the football fans, and most importantly, Manchester United fans who like to think about things. I hope, as usual, everybody logging in, tuning in, is having a beautiful, fantastic, amazing Friday. I hope you've had a good week. Today is a Friday show, and we have a lot of news and rumours to get through. Guys, is Manchester United up for sale? That seems to be the talk of the town. It seems to be on everybody's lips. What the hell is going on with Manchester United? Are the Glazers selling up? What is happening, people? We are going to get into it. That is the main gist of today's show. Getting underneath, understanding what really is going on at Manchester United. Over the past few days, the news has been on fire. It's been on fire. The chairman of General Entertainment and Authority and advisor to the Saudi Royal Court started a rumor that United is being sold, and that rumor has blossomed and bloomed into this beast that we have, where everybody now is talking about this issue. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to get to the bottom of it. We are going to go through the tweets, go through the information, and find out what's true and what's not true. We have the likes of Ben Jacobs getting involved. We have the usual journalists getting involved. Is there an UAE consortium about to purchase Manchester United? We also have news, people, on Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his demands for patience. He wants patience from the fans. We also have news that, as usual, Jim Ratcliffe coming out talking about profits and essentially saying profits before football. He wants to squeeze every last bit of profit out of the club, and then hopefully that will translate to better performances on the pitch. For me, it's the other way round. You sort out the performances on the pitch, and then you have the money flowing in. So we're going to talk about what Jim Ratcliffe has had to say. Also, there's a new appointment at Manchester United, people. DOF, Director of Football Operations, a new appointment. He's supposed to be helping Wilcox out, and we're going to talk about that appointment and what that means, what I think Wilcox will be doing or not doing as well. We have other Jim Ratcliffe quotes about our academy and how our academy is not up to scratch. We're going to get into that as well. Apparently, Bruno is not going to leave, not January and not this summer either, according to some people. We're going to get into that as well. Is there a new contract on the table, people, for Harry Maguire? After everything we've seen with Harry Maguire 4 years ago, 3 years ago, whenever it was, we wanted to get rid of him. Are we about to offer him a new contract? The title of this video is called Distractions. Why is the title of this video called Distractions? It's because I believe whenever stuff like this happen about Man United getting sold and there's no source and it's all he say this and she say that and you don't know where the truth lies. Whenever stuff like this happen, often it's a distraction. Often it's a distraction tactic. Why are we offering Maguire a new contract? Isn't Bruno leaving? Also, to end the show, guys, we have news on the UEFA. Well, we have news on the Super League. We said on this show that the Super League isn't going away. It isn't going away. And the UEFA and the Super League are coming together. There's going to be a merger. There's going to be a new competition, maybe. But the Super League concept is still here, and UEFA are taking it on board. We could see some sort of Super League by 2027. That is the news out there. Like I said, today there's a lot of things to get through, guys, so I'm going to try to get through them as quickly as I can. Big up my chat, big up the chat. I see T Kizzle up in the bizzle. Today's a Friday show, so we're gonna relax a little bit and have a bit of fun with it, you know, have a bit of laugh. It's a Friday show, so get your drinks, get your smokes. I'm not promoting these things, by the way. I'm just saying that some people drink and some people smoke, and it's okay. So if you want to do that right now, do that. It's Friday, so big up everybody. What's CK, my guy, saying in the chat? Weekend, yep. You are right about distractions. Lots of smoke and mirrors right now, wizard style. I see. That's why I fucks with TK. You know, me and TK don't always agree on things, yeah. But I like the way TK thinks. I like the way that guy thinks. Big up TK in the chat right now, right this second. In Kennedizzle. I need to stop doing that, man. But big up Mike as well. So like I said, the reason why I've called it distractions is because I understand the media. I understand all of these things. Look over there while we hand Maguire a new contract. Look over there while we, I don't know, give Bruno a new contract. Something else might be happening, yeah, behind the scenes. And that's why all of this circus is going on. But let's get into it, guys. Let's try to understand, because on this channel, I don't want you guys to leave, yeah, not understanding anything or not knowing things. These guys can do the he say, she say stuff on the other channels. Here, we want to get to the bottom of this. Who started this rumor? Why is this rumor ballooned up? Where is it coming from and why? Yeah. Is there truth behind whatever, all of this stuff that's going on? Where does the truth lie? Anyway, this is the original, I believe. Well, this is the updated tweet that you guys can see. This is the person who originally tweeted about Man United potentially being up for sale. All that you've seen about Man United being up for sale, every bit of information that you've seen, every bit of YouTubers, United stands and United views, this is the source of it. This human being right here that you can see. This man. He is the chairman of General Entertainment Authority and the advisor to Saudi Royal Court. That's who this guy is. And he started a rumor that United is being sold. After starting that rumor, I believe yesterday, he's now come out with this tweet. My yesterday's post about Manchester United's potential sale meant one thing. The club is in an advanced negotiation phase with a new investor. So he's clarified his shit. All right, cool. Just to clarify, I'm not the investor, nor are they from my nation. I'm posting this as a fan who wishes the deal to happen, though it might not necessarily happen. Oh my, it might happen or it might not happen. Wise guy, those are the only two options anyway. It's either something might happen or something might not happen. Yeah, Sherlock, it is not intelligent to say, well, either it does happen or either it doesn't happen. Well, yeah, those are literally, there's no middle ground here. Those are literally the only two options you have. So this human being, guys, this human being started the rumor that we were being sold. And because he is from the Middle East, everybody started talking about Qataris and coming back in. Everyone started talking about, oh, people from the UAE are going to bid for Man United. They're going to buy Man United. Everybody ran with the story. And the story that turned into something else. All from one tweet from this guy. Now, listen, this guy is somebody. This guy, I've already told you his title. He is somebody. Let's not pretend he's not nobody. He is somebody. But he's based his tweet on nothing substantial. So I just want everybody who's tuned in on my channel to understand that this news about Man United being bought, and listen, it could be true. It could be true. But I very much doubt it, first and foremost. And secondly, I want you to understand where it's coming from. Where it's coming from, people. It's funny. I'm currently in advanced talks for a date with Jessica Alba. Just to clarify, she's not my country. I'm saying this as someone who really hopes the date happens, though there's no guarantee it actually will. I like that tweet that's making fun of this tweet because I think that shows where we are. That's what I would say. This is a very weird tweet that's somehow blown up, and that everybody is basing their information on this person. It's very, very strange what has happened in the United, let's call it the United sphere. In the United sphere, yeah? So, let me move on. Is there anything we can talk about? So, Ben Jacobs, your favorite politician, but he's not a politician, he's actually a journalist, but let's call him a politician, has weighed in on the situation. He's saying that this person who we are now talking about, right, the original tweet, is one of the most connected individuals in sport within Saudi Arabia, and he chairs the General Entertainment Authority. He runs the Riyadh season, and Riyadh season is not just about football. Riyadh season is about whitewashing. Yeah, bring all the superstars, bring all the sportsmen, bring all the musicians, bring all the comedians, bring WWE and wrestling, and bring all the Western stuff so we can look a certain way. That's what Riyadh season is all about. Do not ever forget that, right? If Manchester United come over for a friendly, then Turkey ALALSHIKH will be across that. He's well connected within investment circles, and yet sometimes he plays games and sometimes he publishes are to be taken with a pinch of salt. Cool. My understanding is a few things on this. First thing is, if there's a mystery investor, it's not from Saudi Arabia. Second thing is, people will leak to Qatar and Sheikh Jassim or anybody affiliated to him. But again and again, there's denials from the Qatar side as well. So, just as the guy that's tweeted is not anybody from my country or from this part of the world, Ben Jacobs is basically saying that everybody who's linked or was previously linked from the Middle East is now saying it's not them. It's not them. Ben Jacobs goes on to say that Man United sources are in the dark and deny that anything is advanced or close. But could there be a possibility that the Glazers are independently speaking to investors? I think maybe. So once again, apart from a few things, Ben Jacobs is not really giving us anything. Is there a possibility that the Glazers are speaking to somebody? Maybe. So what information are you actually providing me, Ben Jacobs, right now? What information are you actually providing me? This is very, very interesting, while at the same time not so interesting, if you understand my drift. If you understand my drift. Because nobody seems to know anything, while at the same time pretending that they know something. That actually winds me up when journalists do this. Ben Jacobs, he said a lot without saying anything. If there was a formal approach and a formal bid, yeah, for a publicly traded company like Manchester United, the whole world would have known, because it would have to be made public, right? If there was a bid. If there's simply a conversation, listen, the Glazers can talk to whoever they want to talk to. Right now, Jim could be talking to his dog. Oh, little doggy. Oh, little doggy. Like, that's so random. But you know what I mean? The Glazers can talk to whoever they want to talk to. But if there's serious conversations or if a bid has come in, we all will know about it. It's a publicly traded company, Manchester United. on the stock exchange. You can't keep certain things secret legally. You cannot. So, the few things I want to clarify to my chat about this situation so far is that no bid or nothing serious can happen without all of us knowing about it, right? That's just a fact, right? Yes, you can have conversations. You can talk to anybody about anything in life. So if Glazers having a conversation with somebody, then cool, that's fine. But how would you know? Who knows it's got to an advanced stage? Secondly, you need to understand the source. This man is the source of all the information. That tweet I showed you is the source of it. How much do you want to believe that tweet and that source? Anyway, let's move on quickly. A consortium, this is according to Chris Wheeler, journalist. A consortium based in the United Arab Emirates is understood to be considering making an offer to the Glazer family to buy Manchester United and have already approached some ex-United players about coming on board as ambassadors. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. What is this? A consortium based in United Arab Emirates, right? Which Ben Jacobs just told us that no conversation is being had with anybody in that region, right? So that's one tweet. Then we get this tweet saying an UAE consortium is understood to be making an offer or considering making an offer. Okay. How do you know that? Unless the offer is made and it will be made publicly, then how does Chris Wheeler know this? The idea that he's saying that these guys who haven't even made an offer yet, they're only considering making an offer, they've already approached ex-United players. Why would you approach ex-United players? It's very, very... This whole thing basically, unless I hear that a bid has gone in, unless I hear something concrete, this whole situation, people, sounds wishy-washy. Everyone now trying to get in on some sort of know-how. All the journalists now chatting shit. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going to report it to you guys and let you know the facts. But off the bat, I'm going to be honest with you guys. None of this moves me. I don't really believe this stuff. I think this stuff is nonsense. Personally. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. But it is out there and it's my duty to let my channel, my chat know what the hell is going on in the Man United sphere. So I looked at this tweet to understand what is going on in terms of what can the Glazers do? Can the Glazers sell Jim Ratcliffe's shares or not? Because we have two shareholders. We have the majority shareholder, the Glazers, and you have the INEOS, who are the minority shareholders. What powers do Glazers have? I understand shareholders agreements. I work in finance. I get these things. So here we are, people. This is supposed to explain why Sir Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS would have to let go of their stake if the Glazers want to sell. And this is also making the rounds. This is also making the rounds. People are now talking about the fact that INEOS could be gone. If Glazers decide to sell tomorrow, there's nothing INEOS can do about it. So I had to do my investigations, people. I had to do my research because I don't want to sit here and talk shit to my chat. Leave that for everyone else. So this is how it's going to happen, right? This is before August 2025. I will explain to you what first refusal is and what drag along clauses are in a minute. But before August 2025, if the Glazers wanted to sell part of their stake, not the whole club, just their stake, Ratcliffe has first refusal, which means Ratcliffe will be the first to either buy the shares or not buy the shares. Right. So if the Glazers want to sell, Ratcliffe gets the first option to buy them. He's first in line to buy them, right? That's what first refusal essentially means, right? Right? So that means he gets a chance to match the offer and buy those shares before someone else does. And that's normal, right? Especially in the co-shareholder agreement. That's quite normal, people. I want you to understand that, right? And of course, what this does is protect INEOS from their shares being diluted. They can just buy the shares. I work with a lot of shareholders who have that kind of shareholder agreement. So that's quite normal. Cool. However, there is a clause in the shareholder agreement that after August 2025, that first refusal that INEOS have expires. So now, if the Glazers want to sell 100% of the club, and don't forget the Glazers own 27%. Sorry, INEOS owns 27% and Glazers own the other 73%, right? The Glazers can sell the whole club, including INEOS's 27%. Yeah? And INEOS have to accept the offer. There's nothing INEOS can do. This is the drag along clause. This clause forces Ratcliffe to sell his shares regardless. And this clause exists really so minority shareholders like INEOS don't have control, don't stop a sale from happening. So they now cannot stop a sale even of their own shares if the majority shareholder now wants to sell the whole club. So this is very interesting to understand. At the moment, the Glazers have strategic control. Ratcliffe and INEOS right now potentially are vulnerable to being dragged out if a full sale is triggered. So I hope you understand what I'm saying. I hope everyone understands this. This is true. This bit is true. All what I've said. I've checked. I've done my research. And after doing my research, I even asked AI. So this is actually true, people. And this information, doubled up with the information or the news or the tweet from that guy, has caused Manchester United fans over the last 2 days to go into some sort of frenzy. And I'm sitting back, eating my popcorn, saying, okay. So what's really going on? My mind's thinking, okay, so what is really going on? Because I know neither of these guys want to give up their shares at this moment of time. The Glazers just sold 27% of the club for 1.1 billion or whatever and pocketed that money. So what's really going on, people? Let me see what TK is saying. We won't let happen. Cat Pillow will fight for your honor and claw the F out of that dude. This Cat Pillow's there just being boss, standing right above the Man United in its rightful place, people. Big up Mike as well, who jumped in before. Big up Turkish. I see Turkish having a chat as well. Has Cat Pillow ever let you down? No, you're right, TK. When it went to the front, we beat Sunderland. It's a shame that we had to move Cat Pillow to beat Sunderland, bro. Like, we had to do all of that, you know, just to beat Sunderland. But it helped. It helped. I am against ex-players being part of the club in any capacity, unless it's a capable coach. Past is the past. I'm with TK with this one. An ex is an ex for a reason. Ex-girlfriends, no reason to keep around. Yeah, listen, I'm with TK in that one, 100%, bro. 100%. Osman, let's see what Turkish saying first. Glazers know how to do contracts in their favour. This is incredibly weighted to their favour. I saw Ben Jacobs say investors have told him it's crazy the Glazers have so much control. The Glazers are smart. There's a lot of people who want to separate INEOS from the Glazers, and in some ways you can. But there's too many people who forget that the Glazers are still in control of the club. There's too many people forget that INEOS, so Jim has to go to Joe when he wants to release money, when he wants to buy a player. He still needs to speak to him. The Glazers are owners of the football club still. Nothing has changed that much. It's just INEOS are the shiny new faces of their manipulation and their propaganda. That's it. I'm telling you, all the stuff that Jim Ratcliffe is coming out with now, you're seeing the true colours. All he's talking about is money and profitability. We'll talk about it later on in the show, but all Jim Ratcliffe is talking about is cost cutting and making money. There's little talk about the type of football he wants to see. There's no talk about the footballing side of the business. Osman in the chat, big up Osman. Sounds like the INEOS regime being so rubbish for so long has depressed the value of the club, making it inviting for a new investor and making a drag along sale more likely, says Osman. Osman also says, what motivates INEOS initial investment to the 27% extent? If they signed up to the August 25th clause and can now get pushed out for a price they don't control. Osman, that's a question. That's a good question. What motivates them? Listen, there's talks, and I don't know if I'm spreading conspiracy theories, that INEOS, to Jim and INEOS are failing right now. So this Man United thing is supposed to be good for them. Help prop up his other businesses. There's also that conversation. But Osman asked a good question in the chat. What motivates anybody, a company, to purchase 27% of a club, knowing that there's a drag along clause? Did they think it will be better by now? Do they think the situation would be better? INEOS's failings over the year and a half, and some people are saying things like, if the Glazers were here by themselves and not INEOS, they would have fired Amram. The Glazers by themselves never took us to 15th. Never. I'm not trying to do the revisionism. I'm just stating facts. We were never this bad under the Glazers. No matter how many players we had or we didn't have, how many midfielders we have or we didn't have, the Glazers would have signed a Paul Pogba. The Glazers would have signed a Marquis sign. The Glazers, we were never 15th under the Glazers. You can argue the reason why we're 15th is because of mistakes the Glazers have made, compound to get us this stage. But we never finished 15th under them. INEOS has come in over the past year and a half. They didn't sack Ten Hag when they should have. And they're doubling down on this manager. Maybe the value of the club has dropped so much that this is happening. Osman said, did INEOS think they would have already triggered a full takeover from the Glazers by now? That's another question. Chat, that's a question. The problem I have with this news and this situation, guys, is the hypotheticals. Because there's no concrete information, it's all he said and if this and if that and all of these things. And I don't want to waste my time with all of these. Tell me the news when the news is concrete. Yeah. But let's see what TK is saying. INEOS is the Glazers' full guy. Come in, cut costs and jobs, do the dirty work. Then after August 2025, Glazers are back in charge and open for bids. INEOS has been played. The way TK has painted that picture. TK, it sounds plausible what you've said. That's why I need to bring it to my chat. I want to know what my chat thinks. I know Oz is a smart guy. I know TK is a smart guy. So that's where I'm at. This is where we're at right now with regards to this clause, or whether, listen, it can happen. The club can get sold, and INEOS just need to shut up about it. That is a fact, and that's the only fact. There's no facts about who's buying Man United, whether we're going to get sold. Those are not facts. Those are just rumours. The only fact out there is this fact. Yes, INEOS' shares can get sold when the club gets sold, whether they like it or not. Potentially being played by the Glazers, as TK said. That's the only fact of the matter. So essentially, we need to know if it's true, and nobody knows if it's true, whether a conversation is being had or if Man United are being sold. Nobody knows that information. That's the he say, she say stuff. Anyway, what else we have? What else do we have? So let's go on to Sir Jim. Over the past week, I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe has spoken a lot, and I'm hoping for you guys as well, you're starting to understand this human being. Every time he opens his mouth, I'm like, You're letting me into your what you stand for, morally, ethically, and what you want to achieve. I don't know if I like when you speak. Maybe it's best if you just don't speak, Sir Jim, and you allow the spokespeople to speak. So there's a lot of listen, there's a lot of things happening. I think the time is important. I think something else is happening here, guys. That's all I'm saying. The title of the video is distraction. Anyway, let's see what Sir Jim is saying. This is Fabrizio reporting this. I remember the pressure that were calling for Sir Alex Ferguson's sacking in the first 2 years. Look at Arteta with Arsenal. He faced a tough time in his first 2 years. We have to be patient and look at the results in the long term. I don't know, guys. I don't know if Fergie finished 15th. I don't know if... Did Arteta finish 15th? I don't think he did. You know, I don't like these strawman arguments. I don't like these... Fergie was under pressure, so let's give Amram time. No, you can't just apply a blank concept and remove all the context. What was the context of Fergie? What was the context of Arteta? We've given this manager a whole new front line and 4 or 5 new defenders. He's only missing his midfielders. I don't know, guys. Let's move on. This is Ben Jacobs quickly on giving Ruben Amorim 3 years, or at least his comments on Sir Jim Ratcliffe's statement about giving Amorim 3 years. He says, my understanding of the situation is the same. That one. That doesn't make no sense. Man United want to make it work with Ruben Amorim, but 2 results can't continue in this way. I know Jim Ratcliffe attacked the media saying journalists want a light switch turned on, but within Manchester United there were senior sources underlying the importance of that Sunderland game, and you can't go from needing to win that game, not necessarily definitively to keep his job at that point, but possibly so. There's pressure. All right, let me stop reading, guys, because the language in this whole paragraph is crap, and it's not making any sense to me. The way that somebody's typed this up is actually annoying me. So let's stop reading right now. But the point is this. They are going to give this guy time, right? But just like any other business, if you are in a relegation zone, you're going to get fired. So it's like, it's always this. Whenever you hear, give him 3 years, and people get angry, always understand this. You can't give someone 3 years if they get your team relegated, right? So this whole 3-year thing is still dependent on his performance. It's not a blank check to be crap for 3 years. It cannot be, surely, and it will never be. So that's that. Let's move on. I got nothing else to say about that, unless you guys do in the chat. And here's Jim again. Here is Jimmy again, talking his talk, saying what he needs to say. Manchester United will become the most profitable football club in the world, in my view. And from that will stem, I hope, a long-term, sustainable, high level of football. When I heard this, people, I'm not going to lie, I was like, get this guy out the club. Get this guy out my club now. This guy, and I want you, let's all understand what he just said. Man United will become the most profitable football club in the world. And from that will stem a long-term, sustainable, high level of football. So he wants us to become profitable first before, well before, football's the last thing. The football's the last thing he mentioned. So understand why he's firing everybody, why he's cutting all these jobs, why he's doing all of these things, yeah, that the Glazers didn't have to do. It's because he wants us to be profitable even though we are crap. He wants us to make money and continue making money and profits regardless of where we finish. Regardless of whether we get Champions League money or not, he wants us to be profitable. In order for a football club like Manchester United to be profitable while being shit on the pitch, yeah, this guy's gonna have to keep cutting costs every single year, left, right, and centre. He's not going to be able to do the same thing he did last year and fire 200 to 300 people. What's going to happen next year when we don't get the Champions League money? We don't get European football money. Yeah, we don't get the gate receipts. How many more people can he fire? How many more costs can he cut to maintain our profitability? This is not good. This statement is not a good statement. This statement, for me, is something he needs to say to shareholders, to money hungry people, to fans. This is a shareholders meeting statement. And to be fair, it was on a business podcast. It was said on a business podcast. However, the point remains the same. This shows where his mind is at. This is all, listen, all of these Man United fans, these hypocrites who talk about loving the club and loving the club, we are owned by two individuals who don't give a flying F about the actual club. They see it as a cash cow and nothing else, nothing more. That's it. Jim is not a supporter of Man United. I've said many times the best thing that can happen to Manchester United is for a rich guy, a proper billionaire, who loves the football club to buy it because they want to see the football club back. Yes, they want money. Of course, they want a return. But they're supporters of the club. These two that we got, Sir Jim and the Glazers, are probably the two worst owners you can get. And nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. So TK says most profitable. That to me says we don't give a flying F about the team, the fans, no results on the pitch, just plain money talk, business, greed, fuckery. Thank you, TK. I'm glad you heard the same thing that I heard and you took it the same way I took it, bro. Because I'm like, hold on a second. This is not good. I don't like what I'm hearing. It's not good. Osman said he does look like a vampire in that picture. Yeah, he does as well. It's just blood running down his mouth and showing his little blood sign. Look, I'm a true vampire. He's holding up his vampire pendant. That's what he's holding up. Hey, big up. Big up. So Chikna Utara. Listen, I hope I pronounce your name okay. If I haven't, please tell me how to pronounce it. I hope INEOS get the hell out. The guy is so cheap and clueless. Listen, I think the more Jim Ratcliffe starts to speak, the more people will start to understand that he's clueless. He is 100% clueless. And I've said it many times. Do not, stop thinking that billionaires are smart. Just because, listen, he could be. He could be smart. But just because you're a billionaire doesn't mean you're smart. It just doesn't mean that. It just means you have money. That's all it means. That's what it means. Count Ratula. Count Ratula, you know. Count Ratula. He's holding up the... Oh no. An artery of his latest victim. This guy. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah. That's, yeah. So, cheek. All right. Yeah. The cheek. All right, bro. Big up cheeks, man. I like that, man. Big up cheeks. Big up cheeks in the chat. So, let me know, guys. I'm disappointed with these statements. And it's frustrating to see the football club that you loved as a child. Let's be honest, man. I talk about football being a religion, and unfortunately, I say the word unfortunate because I don't like the fact it has this hold over me. Sometimes it annoys me that I'm so emotionally invested in this shit. It annoys me, but it's not going to change anytime soon, really. But it's a shame what the football club has become. It's a shame what it's become, guys. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. But this is very, very interesting. What do we have next, guys, before we wrap up? We've got a few things to go through. Yes, a new appointment, people. Let's talk quickly, very quickly, about the new appointment. Director of Football Operations, Ameesh Manek. He is or was Brentford's general manager, and now he is being appointed as Director of Football Operations. I don't know much about him apart from the fact that he used to work for Brentford and he did a decent job there. I will say this though, that I've always said to you guys that I like Wilcox, right? And I like Vivell. But I did say promoting Wilcox as is it sporting? What's Wilcox? Sporting director? What's Wilcox's role now? Yeah, Wilcox is director of football, and INEOS like to talk about, and Jim, the best in class, right? And as much as I like Wilcox in terms of his recruitment, he's not qualified to be the director of football, Wilcox. He's been promoted into that role. He's never done that role before. So that can't be the best in class, can it? If you're literally promoting somebody into the role. And then there's Omar Barada. Omar Barada wasn't a CEO at Manchester City. He was a little man there. Not so much of a little man, but he wasn't doing CEO duties. He also has been promoted to being a CEO when he took the Manchester United job. So we have two people in very high positions who are not actually used to the job. They're very new to the job. So as much as I like Wilcox, we don't actually have the best in class. The best in class would be to get Real Madrid's CEO. The best in class will be to get the best director of football out there at the best football clubs, not to promote people who were never doing the job in the first place. A lot of the fans have been swindled by INEOS and their PR and their rhetoric. I want us to understand this going forward. These people are not the best in class. They are not, categorically not, nowhere near. As much as I like Wilcox. So, that being said, the fact that Wilcox's role will now be partitioned a little bit, some of his duties will now be given to this guy, Ameesh Manek, I think is a good thing. Maybe, so he's going to manage Wilcox. Sorry, Wilcox is going to manage Ameesh. I think it's a good thing. Because it's I said it's a role Wilcox has never done before. So there's going to be duties that he just doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And they've clearly identified this. They've clearly identified that the role's too big for Wilcox. They need to siphon off some of his duties. Good. But is he the best in class? Is Ameesh Manek from Brentford the best in class? Are INEOS going to come out next week and say, we've got the best in class in every position in the club? Swindle, PR. And we're just going to gobble it up. INEOS are great. Yeah. Not on this channel. We ask questions on this channel and we look at things. So that's the information. Good luck for this guy. Good luck, Ameesh Manek. When you come to Manchester United, you're going to need it. And I hope you do well. And that is all I have to say. I went to see a really bad medical practitioner, Dr. Akula. You're funny. As Dracula. Oh, Washington, D.C. Big up Cheek from Washington, my guy from... Listen, I was going to ask you about what's going down in I've been hearing some things about DC, but we won't do the politics thing. We won't go anywhere near that. It's a football channel. But yeah, bro, it's looking crazy. From across the pond, it's looking crazy out there. Couldn't believe it when I walked into my appointment and the guy introduced himself as Dr. Ruben. I was like, here we go. Fucking with me on and off the pitch. You're silly. I bet this Ameesh guy is afraid of garlic. Nah, you guys are doing a lot. Oh no. Alright, let me loosen up a little bit, man. These tweets are just getting me annoyed. It's a Friday show, like I said. Cat Pillow's face would make a fantastic avatar profile pic. Listen, I might sell Cat Pillow to TK for about a couple £1,000 as your support pillow, TK. This the way you're talking, it might change your life, bro. I don't know. It might do. Anyway, what's this one? What's this on news? All right, so this is about the academy. This is about the academy stuff, people. The likes of Marcus Rashford, Scott McTominay, Amad Diallo. Wow, they included Amad Diallo as an academy player, even though we bought him at age 18 from Atalanta. These guys, the academy stuff there, we are stretching the definition of academy player, bro. We are stretching that academy player definition to the max. Garnacho, I get it. We bought him at, what, age 16 or something? But he wasn't... Listen, it is what it is. I'm going to read it and hurry the hell up. But all I'm saying is this academy thing, we're stretching that definition. Because Amad Diallo, I don't know if I'll call him an academy player. But it is what it is. We'll read on, right? Garnacho and Mbeumo have made a step up over the past few years, but Ratcliffe claims more players should have made the grade, which is one of the reasons why he has recently hired Stephen Torpey from Brentford to replace Nick Cox as academy director. Stop right there. There is no such thing. Let me say something quickly. There is no such thing as more should have made the grade. That doesn't exist. You either good enough and you make the grade, or you're not and you don't. There should never be For him to say more should have made the grade, for him to say that, he must have in his head a number that he thinks, right? Because to me, if you're going to include those players, as well as the likes of Mason Greenwood, that's enough. That's it. How many do you want? 2 or 3 academy players to break into the first team every year? That's never happened at Man United. When the class of 92 broke in, we didn't get 3 or 4 players coming in the next year. And we didn't get 2 or 3 players coming in the year after that. And then the year after that. For 2 reasons. One, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. You can't churn out talent every year. It doesn't work that way. And 2, you have to be better than the players on the pitch. So if the class of 92 broke into the team, for you to break into the team next year, you have to be better than them. And if you're not, it doesn't mean you're not. It doesn't mean you're rubbish. It just means you need to find a new club. That's all. So this idea that more academy, basically, he wants cost cutting. He doesn't want to go out and buy expensive players anymore. He wants to now focus on growing our own players through the academy for cheap, which is most clubs do that. But a lot of clubs buy players because you can't just rely on your academy. I don't know where this should word, if it's even a word that we should be even talking about. Maybe you agree with him. I don't know. He actually says, these are actually his quotes now. The academy has really slipped at Manchester United. You need the academy to be producing talent all the time. It helps you financially. Bro, if this guy said to me and just said the academy has slipped and you need the academy to be producing talent, cool. But then this whole thing is, it helps you financially. My issue with Jim is everything he's saying, he's going to end with, this will help us financially. This will help us financially. Man United Football Club, yeah, needs to be good on the pitch first before we start thinking about profits. Right? We need to be good on the pitch first before we start draining the profits. This guy wants to drain the profits out of the football club regardless of what we do on the pitch. He saw that after finishing 15th this year, having the shittest year we've ever had, and still make money because of all the cuts he made, he's thinking, wow, we were this shit and we still made money. Imagine when we start getting better. I don't know, guys. I do not like what I'm hearing. He goes on to say, that's not a light switch. You don't solve the academy problem overnight, which is true. It takes time. We just recruited a new academy director, which is also true. But my thing is this, people. We have Kobbie Mainoo, who graduated from the academy, the same academy that he wants to focus on. And Kobbie Mainoo is not being developed. Has Kobbie Mainoo improved? Has he been developed? And he's not playing games. So we are seeing right now in real time how academy players are treated when we look at Kobbie Mainoo. While at the same time, this guy is saying we need to be producing more. So what? So they can just sit on the bench like Kobbie. The only thing I believe in this whole paragraph, 2-3 paragraphs, is the 4 words in the middle paragraph at the end when he says, it helps you financially. That's the only thing I actually believe. Get these young players, get the academy going so we can ship them off and make some money. Which is fair. I always say, listen, not every academy player needs to play in the first team. And the academy is also there for us to actually make money. Yeah, that is true. Anyway, like I said, guys, I'm delivering you, letting you know what he's been saying, letting you know what's out there, but I'm not exactly happy with what Jim is saying. Pick up the chat. Let's see what the chat is saying. Let me just converse with the chat. Sadek Ramen, big up Sadek Ramen. Thanks for jumping in the chat, my guy. I hope you're doing well. Don't make fun of our official. Listen, the cat pillow's a mascot. I get it. It will take my place eventually. Mainu is an academy player, but not Garnacho or Ahmad, said Sadek. Yeah, like I said, Sadek, these guys are really stretching the definition of homegrown or academy. I would not classify Garnacho or Ahmad to be academy players myself. So I agree with you, Sadek, 100%. All clubs are now moving to a new model of sustainability by investing heavily in their own academies. Chelsea's strategy is to have an entire first team come from their academy in 5 years, says Turkish. Sadek says a class of 92 were a special grade of players. Sadek, you're right, and that as well. We need Qatar or some other billionaire to buy our club. I agree. The class of 92 weren't just any, they were a special group of players. You don't, the issue that I have here with the class of 92 conversation is that it happened once. It happened one time, and we never use the exception as the rule. The exception, yeah, the thing that happened one time isn't the rule. If you have a special group of players that come from your academy and it's happened once, let's not keep looking back at the class of 92 and keep saying, oh, the class of 92. Listen, it's not going to happen again. It's not going to happen again. That is the exception to the rule. Stop using the exception as the rule, because it's not the rule. It's something special that happened. And the chances of it happening again, in my opinion, are slim. They're slim. So I agree with Sadek 100%. Big up Turkish. Half Gazo. Still don't buy the rumours, but I hope whoever does buy also buys. Jim Ratcliffe. That's funny. Don't buy the rumours, but you know, I like the word on buy, the flip. I'm with you. I'm with you as well, my guy. I don't buy the rumours at all. I'm at the stage where I'm just gonna wait until an official announcement is made, because Man United are a publicly traded company on the London Stock Exchange. So if anyone made a bid or anything like that, we're gonna know very, very quickly. The whole world will know. So the whole he said, she said thing, I'm not involved. So I'm with you guys 100%. Cheek says Amram said Mainu is competing with Bruno. Bruno plays shit most of the time, but nevertheless, he never gets subbed, so I don't see a path for Mainu in this team. Mainu has to put in more work also. Yeah, Cheek, if you're regular to this channel, bro, we speak about that a lot on this channel. I think the manager's done it on purpose. The manager doesn't want Mainu. He doesn't favour Mainu the same way he doesn't want or favours Zirkzee. So he's made Bruno Mainu's opposition, I guess, and he knows he's never ever not gonna play Bruno. So I feel like the manager's done it on purpose. Mainu is not gonna last long here. The question I have for this chat, and I feel like there's two types of people. There are the people who bought into the manager and bought into everything and bought into his system, and therefore, if you don't fit into his system, like a Kobbie Mainu doesn't really fit into his system. You can argue, and a Zirkzee, maybe you can argue. It doesn't mean these players are bad players, but I have a lot of, or some fans who would be like, get Mainu out, get Zirkzee out because they don't fit the system. But what if you don't buy into the system? What if you haven't bought into the manager? What if you haven't bought into the system and you're seeing Kobbie Mainu as a footballer, just a footballer who can play in the midfield three? He can. So why can't he play now? Why can't he play now? So you've either bought into the system, bought into all the managers is doing, and therefore you're gonna dislike the Kobbies of this world, and or you question the system, you question the manager, and you're like, hold on a second, Kobbie is good enough to get into this team. So why isn't he not in this team? Why isn't he? Yeah, if Manu works his ass off, Ruby still won't play him. I think Manu has figured this out. Yeah, a lot of footballers at Man United have figured this out. The favoritism. And the issue I have is fans will hate on Kobbie Manu if he asks to leave on loan. Oh, just knuckle down and put your head down and work for the club. How dare you leave? How dare you want to leave? If Zirkzee wants to leave, Zirkzee wants to leave. How dare he wants to leave? Just knuckle down and put your head down and work for the team. I'm like, whoa. They're doing that and they're still not getting picked. How can you have a standard for the players when a manager comes out and says, sometimes I want to leave, sometimes I want to stay. I don't care about my job. I don't care if you fire me. I'm fine. Sometimes I hate the players. You accept that from the manager. But when a player says he wants to go out on loan to get game time, oh, how dare you? How dare you? The mental gymnastics from our fans, from some of the fan base, it pisses me off. It does piss me off. So, yeah, I agree. Even if Manu works his socks off, he's not going to play. He's just not going to play. Both him and Zirkzee need to find new clubs. And not just on loan. They need to find new clubs if they're going to continue their footballing career. So, this is Zirkzee. Zirkzee posting on his Instagram story from a few days ago. Even in the darkest nights, the flame of hope survives. Strength is born in hardship and love carries it forward. I've already given my opinion on Zirkzee. The opinion is not shared by everybody. I think as a footballer, independent from the Premier League and the demands of the Premier League, I understand, guys, that to play in the Premier League, you need to have a lot of pace and power, especially pace. I understand that. But I don't care about pace in terms of a footballer in general, because I know that some of my favorite ballers in the world, haven't been quick. I mean, Zidane wasn't quick. Like, there's loads of ballers that I know weren't speed merchants and they had beautiful, amazing careers. They have. I need to remind people that you don't need to adhere to the Premier League's rigid footballing profile to have a career in football. You don't. And I also need to remind people that sometimes pace and power, a pace and power league, a league that relies mostly on aggression, mostly on how strong you are, is usually the league that relies the least amount on technicality. Just think about it. If you use speed to get past a player as a winger, i.e. all you're doing is kick the ball past somebody and running, you're using your speed. It means you're not using your skill to get past them. Sometimes slower players who don't have the speed last longer in football because they're forced to use their technical ability to play football. They don't have the luxury of just henching a man out. They don't have a luxury of just outrunning somebody. So therefore, they have to use their technical ability. Often, those players will last and play up until they're 35, maybe until they're 40, because they've always had a high ceiling or high floor and technical ability. I'll always choose tech over pace and power, even though I understand, people, that in the Premier League, you need more pace and you need more power than you do in other leagues. But it doesn't make you better footballer. And that's just how I see football. And that's why I'll always have time for Zirkzee. Listen, Zirkzee, his shooting is he doesn't shoot like a striker. I give him that. But his tech, is just so good. And it'll be a shame for me when he leaves. I say when he leaves because he will leave. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Players leave all the time. They come and go. and Zirkzee will probably be the next one to go, and then we just have to say goodbye and just move on. Simple as that. Yeah, TK's on Zirkzee's next still. I like that though. I like that TK sees differently to me when it comes to Zirkzee. Cheek says even his favourite player Bruno does not really fit in his system. He can't defend to play as an 8 and is too slow to play on the wings. He can only play as a classic 10 or on a 4. I agree with Cheek. We said it's Cheek, once again, you're a friend of the channel now. We've spoken about this. I'm pretty sure you've heard this. And I agree. I think a lot of people agree now with you, Cheek. Even fans who love Bruno, are now starting to say, do you know what? Bruno's a problem. And not Bruno himself specifically, but the fact that he's been shoehorned into that double pivot role. That's a problem. And then the question, Cheek, also is, do you believe two-man midfield, the double pivot, do you believe that even works in the Premier League? Do you believe this system and formation, the manager's approach, do you believe it works? Can work? We can still play 3 at the back, but we can play 3 in midfield. I don't know. Half Gazo says Zirkzee seems to have a lot of creativity and vision. How can there not be a place for him? Half Gazo, one thing that I was waiting to see, especially after getting Cunha and Mbeumo, was Zirkzee as a striker. The way that Zirkzee holds the ball up, his passing, his touch, his vision, his skill. I was hoping that he would be dropping deep as a striker, the way he does. Cunha and Mbeumo running beyond him, giving him options, providing an outlet. I thought we could see that. The manager has not tried that, and I don't think he will try it. What will be interesting, guys, and I want us to pay attention, is when the African Cup of Nations starts and Amad Diallo goes, Brian Mbeumo goes. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens to Zirkzee. Does Zirkzee get game time then or not? Does he? I don't think he will. This manager, when we are losing, would rather bring on Maguire, Harry Maguire, when we are losing, than Joshua Zirkzee. And let that sink into everybody's brain. TK says Zirkzee has no shot, no speed. Yeah. TK's, yeah. I think Zirkzee is a team's weed. Yeah, that's crazy, TK. I have to disagree. I mean, his shot isn't the greatest, and he isn't the quickest, but I don't know, man. He's still a good footballer. You know, when there's like 100 attributes and you don't tick 2 or 3 boxes, it doesn't mean you can't tick all the other boxes. You know them ones. But this is the way my brain wakes. My brain wakes. My brain works. You know, critical thinking, all these things. It's been this way since Oli. All right, here we go. Bruno Fernandes has no interest in moving to the Saudi Pro League at the end of the season. Sources say that Fernandes is determined to put everything into helping United towards a better future, while also believing it is possible to secure a top 5 finish that could earn a place in next season's Champions League. I don't know what the chat is thinking when they read that, when they hear that, but I know it is terrifying for some of us. Absolutely terrifying. I'll believe it when I see it. When the end of the season happens and the Saudi rumours start again, we will see. But guys, there's rumours that we're about to offer Maguire a new contract. Right? So, and now there's news coming out that Bruno's staying. Like I said, this stuff could be distractions, because if the fan base were really, if we were really trying to do something new, if we were really doing a rebuild, guys, I'm telling you, if this rebuild was real, there is no way the likes of Maguire and the likes of Bruno Fernandes will still be here. I'm convinced, yeah, that we're going to give Maguire a new contract. And we could potentially, I don't know if we're going to give Bruno a next contract, but we could potentially keep Bruno. And that's why I say all of this is Man United being sold. That could just be a smoke screen for other stuff that's going on that we're not going to like. But look over there. Anyway, this is the tweet from Fabrizio Romano, people. Man United are in talks with Harry Maguire over a new deal with existing contract due to expire in June. Face-to-face meeting with his camp took place in the recent days and more will follow to discuss conditions. United are happy with Maguire's contribution and leadership. This has been the worst 4 or 5 years. It's not been a good 4 or 5 years, yeah, under Maguire. His leadership, his contribution. This guy, yeah, has gone from 4 years ago being really, really slow, can't play in the defensive two. We cannot play in a defensive two because he's too immobile. He lacks mobility. We cannot play with a high line with Maguire. We've seen it time and time again. We can't play modern football. We cannot play modern football with Harry Maguire. Yes, he looks better in a back three, but guess what, people? We've always said that. We've always said as a fan base that Harry Maguire looks good in a back three. Why? Because he has runners. He has people with pace that can do the sweeping, that can get back, and not him. He always going to look better. Every defender looks better in a back three. And so now he's playing in a back three and he looks okay. And let's be honest, he has scored some goals for us as well. So let's not lie. He has done that. But he's a defender. How has this happened? How has this happened? Listen, if we offer this guy, because he's on £190,000 right now, if we offer him a £90,000, just take away 100 grand, offer him £90,000, you're going to be a squad player. I might look past it. I might be like, okay, English quota, we need English players, and 90 grand. But if we're going to extend his contract and pay him more or pay him the same 190 grand to be a bit part player, what are we doing? What are we doing? I wanted the show to be a nice show, positive show. But all of this, like TK says, negativity. Sadek says Kobbie needs to be developed properly. Sadek, he's not going to be developed properly at Manchester United Football Club. He's not. I think we need to just get that out of our heads. Where's the last player that came out of academy that was developed? Oh, wait. When was it? Properly. The best player would be a combination of Dorgu, all speed and stamina, but no skill, and Zirkzee. Now, I like that fusion. That would be a good fusion. Zirkzee with the flipping, because Dorgu is flipping aggressive, he's quick, and he just scored as well. I think he scored today, didn't he? Or yesterday for Denmark as well. TK. That fusion would be sick. It would be better than the Goku Vegeta fusion. Maguire is only around so that United are meeting the English quota. I can't think of. Yeah, that's what TK. That's what I'm thinking. Turkish says TK. I looked into the homegrown thing, and you only have to be in England for 3 seasons before a certain age to qualify. So even Ahmad could be considered homegrown. 3 seasons before the age of 21. Eddie says no to... Big up Eddie in the chat. Eddie just comes in and says no to Maguire. Big up Eddie, bro. Big up Eddie. Oh, is that why we are signing so many 17-year-olds? They will be considered homegrown in 3 years. All of this stuff. Listen, it could be a good strategy. It could be a good strategy. Who knows? Yeah. So what are we doing, people? What are we doing here? Is it 2 steps back? No. What's the phrase? 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Is that what we're doing? 2 steps forwards, 3 steps back. What are we doing? Is that a dance move? Is that a dance move? 2 steps. Bad man forward, bad man pull up. Bad man forward, bad man pull up. Bad man pull up. Anyway, it's Friday, people. It's Friday. We can have a bit of a laugh, have some fun. This is interesting, guys. This ain't going away, but just so my chat knows some shit, so we know some shit together. UEFA and the Super League are in negotiations to merge and create new competition. Just when you thought there weren't enough competition, that's what we thought, right? We sat here and we thought, do you know what? There's not enough competitions. There's the Premier League, there's the EFL, there's the FA Cup, there's the Conference League, Champions League, Europa League, Club World Cup. There aren't enough. We need more competitions. Not enough players are dying on the pitch. Not enough players are getting injured. Not enough players are getting heart attacks. We need to treat these humans like robots and have them running all day, every day for our entertainment. Right? So I hear it. So this new competition, it will retain the name Champions League and include 36 clubs. All right. So it's not a new competition. It's replacing the Champions League format. It sounds like. Let's read on, people. Let's understand what's going on. The difference is that these 36 clubs will now be divided into 2 categories: the top 18 in the UEFA ranking and the bottom 18 in the UEFA ranking. Okay, continue. Let's read on. The top 18 clubs will only face other clubs from the top 18 in the group stage. Okay. The bottom 18 clubs will only face other clubs from the bottom 18. So the bottom faces the bottom, top faces the top. That's all right. Anyway, broadcasting rights will not be sold to TV channels. Yep, so the clubs get the money. And the competition will be streamed directly through new Netflix-like platform for free or at a very low cost. It will start in 2027. So, you guys know what's going on. You guys know what's going to happen in 2027. You guys know the format of this new competition. This is it. And we're now 2025. So, in 2 years, this is apparently will start. In 2 years, this will start, apparently. So, it's here. The Super League is here. And money, guys. This is late stage capitalism that we're all experiencing. This big money grab from everybody. From all the billionaires buying up things, buying up land, buying up teams. That's what's going to happen, right? Very few individuals are going to end up owning everything. That's capitalism. That's the whole point of the system. So this, I told you, isn't going anywhere. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's come back, and UEFA can't fight it. UEFA know that if United and these clubs want to break away, make their own money, stream their own matches, we don't need you organizing all the matches and doing all these things for us. We don't need a governing body. We can govern ourselves. You are just the middleman, UEFA or FIFA, literally. And so they understand this. So they're now going to be like, okay, cool. Let's start this new competition and you can have the TV rights. The money, XYZ money goes to you. This was always going to happen. Always going to happen. especially as we spoke about the fact that most of our owners of the Premier League football teams are either American owners or from the Middle East. That's it. Most football clubs now in the Premier League, I reckon, are now owned by individuals rather than, you know, the average shareholder, for instance. So that's where we're going, people. That is where we are going. Let's see what people are saying. We need to make our own Mo Salah at Manchester United's academy, says Sadek. I agree. It will be interesting to find out why you guys, if you guys agree that we don't, if you agree that we don't make enough stars from the academy, and maybe what you think is happening at the grassroots level for us not to be producing many. If you're going to sing, it has to be Lucky Star by Madonna. Fuck off, mate. Lucky Star by Madonna. I've always wondered why football doesn't do direct to consumer streaming service. There's zero reason to let Sky or DAZN make billions for transmission anymore. I agree, Osman, and it seems like football clubs are now starting to look at that and thinking, yeah, you're right. I was watching NBA on League Pass on my laptop 20 years ago. The technology has been around for ages, says Osman, and the clubs could easily capture that money for themselves and cut out broadcasters. Yeah, that is the idea, Oz. I think it's, why am I giving all this money to these broadcasters, to all these people, when we have the facilities, the ability to do things ourselves for much cheaper? It doesn't make sense. But then TK spoke about advertising. The fact of the matter is, the advertisement money goes to Sky, goes to whoever is putting on the program. But that says TK, Manchester United will then have their own advertising revenue. So we will, Man United will stream the match on, let's say, MUTV, and then they'll charge whoever to advertise on MUTV, and the advertising revenue on MUTV will be so much more now. Because yes, they'll get a good amount of money to advertise on MUTV, but we don't show matches live. We don't show live matches. If we start showing live matches on MUTV, the advertising revenue is going to go through the roof. So it is what it is. Anyway, let's move on. What we got? I think that's it, guys. We did it. So get your mangoes. Get your drinks. All the way. Let's check this out, people. I was watching this, and this is JJ Gabriel, yeah, just doing kick-ups here with a tennis ball against the wall. And you guys might say, it's minor. But I'm not gonna lie, guys. When I was younger, yeah, and when I was told to do kick-ups with a tennis ball, I hated this shit. I hated it. I was rubbish. And just look at him. Tennis ball. Just the control, the tech. And he's not even like sweating. He's not like chasing the ball. He's just standing there just with the tennis ball. Look, bam, bam. I'm not gonna lie, yeah. I'm not somebody who likes to get overly excited at academy players. My mindset is, speak to me when they break into the first team, because so many academy players look promising and then they just fall off a cliff or they don't make it. But this kid, every time I see a little snippet of him training or something, I'm like, this kid, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, yeah, he might be a cheat code. I said that Mason Greenwood is the best footballer to come out our academy over the last 10 years. He is. Argue with your mum. He's better than Mainu. He's better than a lot of the guys that have come out. Mason Greenwood, regardless of what he did, I'm not talking about what he did, I'm just talking about him as a footballer, is the best talent, yeah, we produced from our academy over the last 10, 15 years. This guy, if we can develop him, my gosh. I know Arsenal, you have your who's that guy? Max Dowman. He's our Max Dowman. This guy is our Max Dowman. You could argue he could listen, we don't know who's gonna be better out of the two. Actually, let me not even go there. But let's say I am quietly hopeful. Let's say that I'm quietly hopeful about JJ Gabriel, and I hope you guys are as well. Husband, you used to have to pay Sky to literally beam the footage through the air to your house, like the actual Sky. Nobody needs a satellite on their house to watch football anymore. Yeah, times have changed, people. Times have changed. So that was your show, people. Let's just do the usual quick recap of what we spoke about today before we wrap it up. It feels very weird because it feels like there should be a game tomorrow. Because usually Friday is the match preview and we talk about the game, and today we haven't. But there's no game tomorrow because it's international break. So the show felt a bit weird. But it is what it is. We started speaking about the chairman of General Entertainment and Authority and advisor to the Saudi Royal Court, which is this guy, and how he started the rumor. Him and him alone started the rumor about Manchester United being sold. The Man United rumor being sold rumor came from this guy. So we spoke about him, who he is, why he started the rumor, so on and so forth. We went on to speak about sort of Ben Jacobs' quotes on Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers. We mentioned the UAE consortium, whether we believe that's true, what's going on there. We went through Sir Jim Ratcliffe's quotes about, I guess, one about the youth in general, and his quotes about Amrim. We also spoke about, or we confirmed whether it's possible for Glazers to sell the club without Jim's permission. And it is possible. It is possible for them to do it based on the shareholder agreement that they have. So it is possible. We spoke about that as well. We went on to speak about Jim Ratcliffe just really wanting profits and money and nothing else. We spoke about that. Our new director of football operations manager, remember the name, or maybe don't remember the name, because don't do that. But anyway, his name is Ameesh Manek from Brentford. We spoke about Zirkzee's cryptic post, Maguire's potential new contract, which I'm not happy about. We also mentioned the fact that there is news or rumours out there that Bruno Fernandes might not leave this summer. And this is from Simon Stone, and Simon Stone is a BBC journalist. We ended on the UEFA and Super League information. So Super League is coming, people, in 2 years. So that's where we ended. A lot of information, a lot of detail, I think, provided in today's show. Not the most what's the word? Conversive show. Not the most conversational show. It was more of there's a lot of information out there, and here's the information. It was more that kind of show today. So big up the chat. I hope you guys are well informed now. You can go about your business, enjoy the rest of your Friday, enjoy your weekend. I might do a show on the weekend if there's anything to report on, or maybe I might do a prediction show or something. I might jump on and do something fun. Who knows? I might jump on the weekend. So pay attention to that. There's also my tactical analysis video that I'm promoting hard. I'm pushing hard, and it's doing really well. So if you also check that out. Eddie says we need to stop glazing this JJ boy. Let him get his head down and improve naturally, or I know Man U supporters are going to destroy his mentality. Stop it, Wiz. Stop. I'm not glazing. I'm not glazing. I'm just admiring. But Eddie, you're right. I agree with Eddie. And I've said it myself, let's not put too much pressure on him. Let's just admire his talent and also understand that academy players, they fail. We've done this before. We've heard this before. And in 2 years' time, we don't hear anything about the player ever again. So Eddie's right. Let's also relax when it comes to JJ Gabriel. TK says today's MVP is Osman the Oracle. He came late but came hard. There you go. Osman MVP. Osman the Oracle. That's your name, Osman. And that's it, bro. There's no questions asked. You have to accept it. Osman the Oracle. Half Gazo says big up to Mainu Beleba midfield next season. Listen, Half Gazo, the way that things are going on now with Kobbie, it might be a Beleba Adam Walton midfield. It might be a Beleba Anderson midfield. Kobbie might not even be. The way things are going on, I wouldn't be surprised if Kobbie's not here. As sad as it is, I wouldn't be surprised. So, big up the chat. Good show today. Good show. Nice little mix of people jumping in today. Some new faces. Make sure you do come back to other shows. Hopefully, it's a community that, you know, we're not going to say your opinions are stupid unless your opinions are stupid. But I'm joking. But we like to think outside the box here. And if you disagree, it's cool. It's fine. As long as you can explain yourself and we can have a conversation, I think, you know, you will be absolutely fine in this community. So TK, Oz, Eddie, and other people who kind of lead the channel, they're not dicks. They're not dicks. They're cool people. So big up the channel, big up the community, big up Half Gazo and a few other new guys. Big up Sadek, who jumped in as well, and Cheek as well. So big up all the new guys. Big up Turkish, TK, obviously Eddie, you know, the usual. Oz, of course, Turkish, the mod. Mike, big up, man. Enjoy your Fridays. Like I said, do what you need to do. And don't use the word. And because I can't use the word, I'm not even going to say it. So thanks, TK. Don't use the word. Hey, listen, I need to enjoy my Friday. Why can't there be a batch tomorrow, bro? International breaks. International, bro. Like, what is international football about, man? I missed the takeover news. Can you do a quick recap? So essentially, there's no takeover. Now, basically, we spoke about the fact that, one, it is possible for Glazers to sell the club right now and also sell Sir Jim's shares without his permission. So we agreed that conversation that's been had in the United sphere about Glazers could sell and INEOS don't need to be told and all these things, that's correct. But there is no verification or validity surrounding a purchase or conversations regarding a sale. I'm not saying there isn't any conversations, but if there are conversations, then nobody's going to know until it gets serious or a bid has gone in. I've also said that we know a bid hasn't gone in because Man United are publicly traded. So if anything serious was to happen, we're going to know about it. All we're getting, Eddie, is he said, she said, and all these things. And we also spoke about the source of the information. Everything we're talking about, whether Man United are getting sold or bought, has come from one person. One person tweeted this, and now that one person is kind of backtracking. Look, he says, my yesterday's post about Man United's potential sale meant one thing. The club is in an advanced negotiation phase with a new investor. Just to clarify, I'm not the investor, nor are they from my nation. I'm posting this as a fan who wishes the deal to happen, though it might not necessarily happen. So, and he's the guy with the main. He's the source, people. This guy here is the source. So that's basically a recap. Nothing to really say apart from let's wait until something more concrete is said by somebody else, because this tweet doesn't really clarify anything. It might happen, it might not happen. There is somebody who's in the advanced negotiation, but I don't know who it is. It's like, what? You know? So that's where I'm at, Eddie. That's where I'm at. Until it becomes more concrete, then we can talk about it. But I don't trust how this has grown into a big thing. How this has grown into a big thing from a little tweet like that. I don't get it. And I've done my research, and there's no other sources. So there you are, people. Big up everybody. Big up the chat. Big up Eddie. Enjoy your weekend, people. Enjoy your Friday. I might jump on later on. I might jump on, on the weekend. But if I do not jump on the weekend, make sure you guys enjoy your weekend and have a good Friday. Big up, people. Bless.